Britain's relentless rain is about to turn red. After weeks of non-stop showers, southern England could see a rare phenomenon known as blood rain. A massive plume of Saharan dust lifted by strong desert winds in North Africa is traveling north across Europe towards the UK. The system is being tracked by the Copernicus Atmosphere Monitoring Service. Fine red dust from the Sahara has been carried thousands of miles at high altitudes. When those particles mix with Britain's ongoing rainfall, the showers can take on a red or orange tint, creating a so-called blood rain. The plume is expected to pass over southern England, with some of the dust potentially falling to ground level if it combines with rain clouds, reddish skies, hazy sunsets, and a thin film of dust on cars and windows once the rain dries. Experts say this is a natural seasonal event, often seen when Saharan winds push aerosols towards the North Atlantic and Europe. What's notable this time is the intensity of the plume reaching northwestern Europe. Meanwhile, the Met Office warns the UK's wet pattern could last into mid-March, with grounds already saturated in many areas. So while blood rain sounds dramatic, it's simply desert dust meeting British rain.
There's ice? Hey, yo, come on, say what?
At 8:30 this morning on Clinton Avenue in Newark, ICE agents were seen pulling a man from a gray van, which witnesses tell us ICE was chasing.
They read the red light, yes. Okay. Seen them punching him. I seen them punching him and dragging. They dragged him out the window.
Moments earlier, that van crashed into two cars at an intersection, one of which was a red Toyota RAV4 driven by an Uber driver. That Uber driver was at the light here at Shanley Avenue waiting to make a left turn onto Clinton Avenue. At the time, he had 3 kids inside of his car, all going to school about a block away from here. Those kids are 14, and 11 years old. As they were making the left onto Clinton, however, that's when they were T-boned by a gray van being chased by ICE. That van then bounced off the Uber and smacked head-on into an oncoming car. Those 3 children are twins, Mackenzie and Mackay Fontage, and their brother Ian Fontage. Javon Aline is their stepfather, who rushed to the accident scene after a call from his stepdaughter.
They called screaming, very terrified. In Newark, especially, police aren't supposed to chase vehicles just for this reason. It's very dangerous.
Aline says all 3 are at University Hospital in intensive care. He tells us Mackenzie has a broken ankle and a head injury. Mackay has an injured hip, and Ian has a punctured lung. Newark police have confirmed the arrest at Clinton Avenue was part of an ICE-led operation. We have reached out to Homeland Security for more information. In Newark, I'm Chris Keating, News 12 New Jersey.
After learning details of the crash, Newark's Mayor Ras Baraka put out a statement saying state law prohibits law enforcement from chasing vehicles unless the suspect poses an imminent threat. He goes on to say, this is our city, these are our people, and this behavior is in keeping with a rabid, lawless pattern seen nationally. Somebody could have been killed in Newark today. These agents have to adhere to local laws.
A former Immigration and Customs Enforcement instructor is criticizing the agency, claiming the efforts to rapidly increase its ranks will cause new recruits to be put on the street without proper training to do the job. CBS News immigration correspondent Camila Montoya Galvez has the latest on what this whistleblower told lawmakers today on Capitol Hill.
This former ICE official delivered a stark warning to lawmakers and the American public. Without additional reforms, he said ICE is at risk of placing thousands of new deportation agents on the streets of American cities who do not know how to follow the U.S. Constitution and who may not understand the limits of their authority. Ryan Schwank left ICE less than 2 weeks ago after most recently helping to train would-be deportation agents in a federal academy in Georgia. He called the current training process deficient, defective, and broken.
New cadets are graduating from the academy despite widespread concerns among training staff that even in the final days of training, the cadets cannot demonstrate a solid grasp of the tactics or the law required to perform their jobs.
Democratic congressional officials also released internal ICE documents that they say show the agency has eliminated courses and training hours for new recruits, including instruction on use of force cases. ICE has come under intensifying criticism over its tactics and its actions across the country under the second Trump administration, which has promised to oversee the largest deportation operation in American history. In a statement, the Department of Homeland Security denied that any ICE training requirements have been eliminated or scrapped. DHS said in its statement that it has streamlined training to cut redundancy and to incorporate technology advancements without sacrificing basic subject matter content. The administration has said that it is planning on onboarding 10,000 additional new ICE deportation agents to enforce the president's crackdown on illegal immigration. Back to you.
Camila Montoya-Galvez, thank you.
Former ICE attorney and training instructor who quit his job last week in protest has accused the federal agency of lying to Congress about having drastically slashed its training standards for new officers. During a forum Monday held by congressional Democrats, Ryan Schwank called ICE's training program deficient, defective, and broken, as the agency has eliminated hundreds of hours of vital training courses, including on use of force, how to safely handle firearms, and protocols to detain immigrants. Ahead of the forum, Democrats unveiled internal documents provided to Democratic Senator Richard Blumenthal by DHS whistleblowers, detailing that new ICE recruits received nearly 250 fewer hours of training than before, with the agency also shortening training programs to just 42 days. The revelations come as the Department of Homeland Security is rapidly expanding its hiring of new agents, which has raised alarm on the agency's eroding screening and training standards. Ryan Schwank's testimony comes just weeks after ICE Director Todd Lyons testified in front of separate House and Senate committees, claiming the agency had not reduced the, quote, meat of the training, unquote. This week's findings contradict.
If you could give a grade, what would you give?
I'd say 70.
Do you feel like you have been getting what you voted for?
Not really, but, you know, as many problems there are in this country, it takes a long time.
On immigration, Diane Hunt said what happened in Minnesota went too far.
I'd like to see them stick with what they originally said they were going to do and just go after the ones that were illegal and had records. I like closing of the borders, but I don't like ICE doing things that they shouldn't do. I don't like seeing an innocent person get treated bad, you know. I don't like to see somebody that's here illegally getting treated bad. Just send them back. Don't abuse them or shoot them or split them up from the kids.
I was all for like the administration policy and then like ICE, but then whenever I saw the episode happen in Minnesota, it totally changed my perspective on how they came and killed an innocent woman. People are scared, innocent people are scared, and they shouldn't be. If they're innocent and they're citizens, it's harassment to me.
Anytime you get to the enforcement part of the law, it can get ugly.
If you were to give the president a grade, what would you give him?
I would give him a B+ to A to an A. As far as his policies, I don't have a problem with them. To me, they seem to be working. I mean, we needed a change.
So this morning, we were made aware by Cuban authorities of an incident off the coast of Cuba. We immediately began to look into it. As it stands now, the Department of Homeland Security, the Coast Guard, others are involved. The majority of the information we still possess is what Cuban authorities are providing both the public and the U.S. government. We have our embassy on the ground in Havana working this as we speak, asking for access to the people that were on those vessels, if they were American citizens or permanent residents. According to the Cuban regime, that the boat was registered in Florida. We're tracking that down. We will know shortly, and we will know quickly, many more facts about this incident than we know right now. The majority of the facts being publicly reported are those by the information provided by the Cubans. We will verify that independently, and as we gather more information, then we'll be prepared to respond accordingly. I'm not going to speculate, because I'm not going to opine on what I don't yet know, but we're going to find out exactly what happened here, and then we'll respond accordingly. Okay? Any questions?
Have you been in touch with anyone in Cuba? And I mean, what's your...
Well, the authorities in Cuba, the border guard has constant contact with the Coast Guard, so they alerted them this morning. I was made aware of it at that time. Oftentimes in these incidents and things like this, the initial reports are incomplete, and then as the day has progressed, I think early this morning, certainly by 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. this time, maybe a little later our time here, I reached out and we began to look at it independently. We have various different elements of the U.S. government that are trying to verify elements of the story based on what's been provided to us now. I know that the Coast Guard has responded to the area, to the vicinity. I'll need to get more fidelity and understanding from them once I get on the airplane about what exactly they're looking for. I don't know who has possession of the vessel, which is the first thing we would want to have. We obviously want to have access to these people if they are American citizens or U.S. residents.
Have you spoken to any Cuban officials about this?
No, we haven't spoken directly about this now. No, I'm not going to comment about any conversations we've had on this topic. Suffice it to say, what it's important to be out there and everyone needs to know is that we're going to have our own information on this, and we're going to figure out exactly what happened. And there are a number of things that could have happened here. But I'm not even going to speculate as to what it could have been. It's a wide range of things. But suffice it to say, it is highly unusual to see shootouts in open sea like that. It's not something that happens every day. It's something, frankly, that hasn't happened with Cuba in a very long time. But we're going to find out. We're not going to base our conclusions on what they've told us. And I'm very, very confident that we will know the full story of what happened here, and we will know it soon. And then, we'll respond appropriately based on what that information tells us.
So President Trump doubled down on his threats to Iran, saying he wouldn't allow the country he called the world's biggest sponsor of terrorism to have a nuclear weapon. In fact, accusing Iran of developing missiles to reach the United States, a claim we can't verify. What is clear is this U.S. military buildup that shows no sign of slowing down. Over the past 24 hours alone, we've learned that a squadron of F-22 stealth fighter jets have actually arrived here in Israel. And take a look at the influx of combat aircraft, from fighter jets to heavy lift transport planes at U.S. air bases across the region. Then there's the warships, the Ford aircraft carrier now in the Mediterranean off the coast of Israel, the Lincoln aircraft carrier in the Arabian Sea, at least a dozen guided missile destroyers. Overall, the largest buildup this region has seen since the invasion of Iraq in 2003. So the pressure is mounting inside Iran, too. Protests have started up again this week. And on the social media platform X, the CIA is now posting messages in Farsi urging demonstrators to contact the agency and how to do so safely, which all sets the stage for talks tomorrow in Geneva. Iran still looking for some kind of diplomatic breakthrough, and the stakes could not be higher.